Welcome back. Does poetry ignite you with joy, or is it destined for the tortured soul? Well, in this video, we'll explore exactly that. But first, if you're new here, click the subscribe button so you don't miss a video. So grab a cup of tea and get ready for a back-to-back poetry reading with Ricardo means Ybarra and myself.
I'm Buxie. I was a former laureate of Malibu, and I'm here to jubilate with you. Jubilations from the Latin. It means a shout for joy. Have you had a time ever when you could not contain yourself and a joy just leaked out of you? It's happened to me before.
It hasn't.
In Spanish, when one wants to say, I'm retired, they say, soy jubilado. That means I'm jubilated. I'm jubilating. I'm free to do what brings me joy. And a friend from Canada says, if it stops bringing joy, be free to do something else and to repeat it as often as necessary. So there was a professor of mine who used to say, without feeling, half of us isn't there. Emotions are part of our mental processing. The two, feelings and reason, have been divided sometimes opposed, reason versus feelings. But feelings, I'm learning from recent studies, are a guidance system for our thinking. Reasons such as joy, anger, or sadness adjust our goals, direct our attention, and influence the value we give to things. Studies show that feeling happy makes people more creative, more flexible. Anxiety breeds depression and can make you less likely to take chances. And feeling indignant, the feeling of indignation, helps us focus on injustice. So emotions are really the hidden power behind the throne of a reasoning mind. They do color my thoughts. People might ask me, what do you think about this idea? Rarely do they ask me, how do you feel about it? As if feelings don't matter. I mean, I talked to someone today who said he was scared. He was scared when he saw something happen. It scared him. And I might know something is wrong because of that kind of feeling in my body. It can arise from kind of this area or my gut. You know something before your mind even knows it. Your body knows it. I once asked a man climbing out of an Edison truck, how can you tell the truth? He told me, I feel it. How, I asked. He said, it's endorphins. Whatever it is a feeling. Using our emotional awareness can result in wiser, healthier decisions, I believe. In Macbeth, Shakespeare wrote, give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers to the overwrought heart and bids it break. I say joy unsounded is like a river run dry. So let's let today's joys water our hearts and the fruits of the joy be our feast. Today's event brings two poet laureates together. Our first poet laureate, Ricardo, where is he? Oh, there he is. Ricardo means Ybarra, and our current poet laureate, Nathan Hassall. And I want to say that these laureates are honored for their dedication and skill in promoting poetry with workshops and readings in our schools and communities. after their reading, we will further unleash our curiosity and have open mic. So here we go. We're going to jubilate.
All right.
How are you going to work it? Ricardo and Nathan.
Nathan,
Yeah.
you gonna go first, Nathan?
Yeah.
All right.
Are we alternating, or am I just going straight?
Let's alternate.
Yeah, let's
That sounds
alternate.
like
Why don't we
fun.
sit up here and then we can...
Sounds good up here.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's good to see some new faces and some familiar faces today. It's been a while. I think we've had a break for the summer. I'm really excited to have all the poetry programs kicking off again, and what a better way to do it than with joy and poetry. So I'm going to read this first poem. It's called Song of the Stone. A flap of wild light ripples through the cracked window. Palm sap rolls its drunkenness down cliff, covering a crow eye that glares over the sea. I sing the song of the stone, its brailed thirst humming the depths for water, and you, a cactus thorn, tearing open this photon of skin, bursting each bone like a wave. I sing the song of the stone. My gate shreds open, thousands of rained-on oaks pour upwards from their root music. I sing the song of the stone. Each flute of light in the sky sings the song of the stone. Clouds drumming the ocean with rain sing the song of the stone. And we, my love, at daybreak's throne, sung by and singing the song of the stone. Ricardo.
I don't know if I'll need this. I hope not. This is so much easier without it. So I am so excited to be reading with Nathan. It is the cactus thorn. I mean, how you pulled that one out, I don't know. But he is a beautiful poet, and when I fall into his poems, it's like with amazement and joy, right? Yeah. So not only am I excited to see you all and to be with Nathan, but I have a little secret that I'm going to tell you. Cynthia and I, my lovely wife, just came back from Italy, and normally, you know, she's a wonderful wife. She goes and attends.
I don't like where this is going.
She attends all my readings. In fact, she probably knows all my poems better than I do, right? But she has not heard the 2 Italian poems, and I'm going to start with one right now. So this is really fun. This one is called La Orecchietta, and it means little ears. And little ears are a type of pasta that they make in Puglia, and the boot of Italy.
You didn't tell us you were in Italy.
I did it? Okay, we were in Italy. So everybody can hear me fine, right? Yes, thank you. La Orecchietta. There is a street in Old Town Bari, Puglia, where men, hidden behind curtains, sing from the 5th-story balconies. Sing with all they got, con gusto. Sing at sunset over the tangled, deep alleyways below. Over indifferent women. Women making pasta, making tiny shells perfect for sauce or gravy. Big women, thin women, women pressing dough, pressing flesh. Women rounding edges smoothly over the bent curve of the world. Women singing in response. Twist my tender little ear, la bella bella orecchietta. my sweet, loving Ora Quieta. What do you think?
That was great, Ricardo. Cynthia, are you happy to hear that one?
I was a little afraid at the beginning of that introduction.
I think we all were. I felt the tension. I was like, oh. Ricardo released that, I think. Over the summer, Ricardo was in Italy with Cynthia, and I was in Greece with Rachel. My sister got married in Crete, and we were both at different weddings and were asked to write a poem and read them there. So after we were in Crete, I went with Rachel to Santorini, and that's where I felt, because I was not with my full family, I was just with Rachel, that I could start writing again. So I wrote more about Santorini. So this is a poem about a monastery in Santorini. He returns to a Santorini monastery. A violin floats in the air above the white and blue monastery, its cross overlooking the ships that pass each other in the folding hands. Like an aura, the violin embraces our spines. We follow sandalwood incense through the old door, gaze up at the dome, Ophanim and Seraphim painted in brilliant gold leaf, circling the Saviour. A chandelier carved with laurels and brass candles slips from his throat. Through the door, all the blues borrowed from the sea's widening, falsettoed by sirens on volcanic rocks. The darkening sky pressing the cinnabar red cliff. Out the Aegean, a statue of the Saviour trumpets dribbled in seaweed, his blinding marble blotting the sun's tiara of light. Opening his fleshy ancestral eye, his bleeding hands sweep unspoken verses into the sea. Violin's last broken glass note scrapes above his head as he dissolves again into the gulping salt.
Thank you, Nathan. My gosh. Oh. What is, okay, I understand what a seraphim is, but what is an ophanim?
So it is also an angel. It's kind of described as an interlocking wheel of eyes. So there's two wheels that are interlocked that are gold, and there's eyes all around it. So in the monastery, they were painted up on the dome, and in the middle was Jesus, and the chandelier was literally dropping from the throat. So I was like,
wow.
How can I not go into a
Yes.
religious, meditative trance seeing something like that? So it was, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, so I am going to continue the journey closer to home this time. And this one is for the dreamers. And they do have a very long journey. Some of them have still not achieved citizenship. And this poem is called Corrido for Los Dreamers, Song for the Dreamers. When Dick Acuna sprayed his armpits with 25-cent cologne in the bathroom of the office bar, he had to stand on the tips of his work boots. Sears Best honey smooth leather sliced across the top from barbed wire. He had to stand so he could mimic a ballerina, a dirty white t-shirt, eyeglasses, and toes of sand. California desert sand, in the stitches and on the concrete floor, under the urinal, the colored and ribbed prophylactic machine. Orale, orale, viejito, he yells. Dick Acuna is the funniest man I ever knew. calls me a little old man, maybe because I can hear my father gunning the 49 Ford pickup, painted white with spray cans from Pep Boys. Or because I can feel him taste the warm Budweiser, but drink it anyway, quickly. I can't stop laughing as Dick Acuna dances, wiggles his hips, arches his back, spins for each white t-shirted armpit, the Old Spice so sharp, I looked in the mirror to see who had slapped my face. I had no fear of Sam. Sure, I heard footprints, but I could barely speak la lengua materna, so how would I know the secrets told at my bisabuela's house in Pomona on Sundays? I didn't know from any of that. La migra, coyotes, pollos, mojados, undocumented. I was bit with Dick Acuna in the desert. I pushed a 25-cent plunger with both hands.
Thank you, Ricardo. I love in shared readings when there's phrases or images that echo each other. There was the painted white, and I love that it picks up in new context. I think it adds to the context and the kind of imaginative experience for everyone in the room. It certainly did for me. So thank you, Ricardo. That was great.
As
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and the songs, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a couple more poems each. This one, I went on a camping trip in our RV with Rachel up in Oregon, I think it was last summer. So these were some poems that I wrote there. So the first one is called Night at Cedar Bloom. Cedar Bloom's the name of the campsite. Oh, and it's in numerals, so I'm going to do this when I get to another section. There is 6, so I'm going to do my best to kind of focus finger on that one. So we're going to start with this. A shriek tears open the spine of the forest. Wide-eyed at 2 a.m., 2 bodies cling under a sleeping bag. A pine leaf scrapes its fingernail against the tooth of a star. Both fall. A moth breaks from her cocoon, lifts into night's blazing silver. A coyote howls, closes in on a twitching rabbit. My heart changes shape, like the moon folding through phases, and yours pumping wildly. I think about what it means to leave the sweet jewel green river, how tomorrow's petals will hold in their uncurling the possibility of colour as the sun peaks over the mountain. A poem is a sound that cannot settle, the silence that precedes a snowstorm. In a field not too far from here, the sound of broken corn repairing its ladder to heaven. Each star splashes the sky open. In the cold, you expose your body and press softly into mine. Glide your hand up my back, you say. I want to feel a blade of light shiver through me. All the other sounds you make stream feverishly into the stone-dark forest. I nudge closer to tell you I'm not sure if I'll ever fall asleep. You inhale through your nose, eyes racing under their lids, as if a dying language is pouring into your dream. At last, the morning emerges. Light falls like sweat beads onto the grass. You wake up and mumble, "Is it true that you drowned in the river?" I shake my head. A fog unwraps the trees. The eye of my heart floods its light into yours. shattering what could be.
Okay, turn up the AC. That is really. Oh, that part about the hearts. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Very romantic.
The next one's karma.
Oh, I'm going to deviate. I'm going to deviate. I was going to read another journey poem, and I decided with what's going on that I'll read this one about guns, important gun information. Before you kill someone you don't know, at a school, church, spouse, lover, ex, before you kill me, consider this. Consider giving your gun, your firearm, the gun you're holding, pointing at someone, a name. A name is good. A name exhales, extends itself, carries forward, wants to dance slow, wants to see you again. Consider a name you love for your gun. Not any name, not a brand name, not Betty. Consider a family name. Your mom, your sister, grandpapa, your baby. A name you love. A name you wouldn't want to hurt or kill.
That was profound. Thank you, Ricardo. Okay. This will be the last poem I read. And this is at the same campground. And it's called Morning. Okay, we've woken up and we're all very calm. We haven't had coffee yet. So it's Morning at Cedar Blue 3. In a collection I put together, there's 3 poems, and so they're numbered. So this is number 3. Awakening to the scent of pine and fir pulsing on the breeze, the spilled and spilling distance between trees clinging to each other through storms under their quilt of dirt. The sun appregios its rays to our faces as we sleep inches above a cold, suckling root. In this bodily heat of 2 lovers unfolding from their dreams, our breath feeds and is fed by the cedar's warm lung. A cone, unpinched, whistles to the ground, spreads its seeds like fingertips that can hardly trace what we might yet become. Stems under the earth's cooling face that crack wetly through its flickering eyelid.
Oh, thank you, Nathan. What a joy. This has been really
Thank you
fun.
for the water.
This has been really fun, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you? I just met you.
So
You-
happy.
This
Thank you.
young woman was passing by and said, "What is going on in there?" A poetry reading. She said, "Can anybody go in?" Have you enjoyed it?
We loved it.
Great.
I don't know, it's so hot. but
Yeah,
it's-
right? I know. Okay. Well, but look out. Last poem is the last of the Italian poems. Cynthia hasn't heard this one yet. I don't think I brought it.
You both are making your wives nervous during
I know,
this.
right?
Just kidding. Okay. So we were in Naples, and I'm going to be calling it Napoli because it sounds so lovely, Napoli, and for a wedding. And Naples is a crazy town. It's a port town, and it's a little swarthy, it's a little gritty, but kind. People are wonderful. I recommend that you do not rent a car and try to drive in Naples. Once the people get behind the wheel, they go crazy. And the scooters and everything. So, the thing about Italy and about, I guess, Mexico as well, all the Latino countries, is that everyone has a patron saint. No matter how small your town is, you have a patron saint. In Italy, they also have a patron Madonna, which is fabulous. And the patron Madonna of Napoli is called the Brun Madonna, which means the brown Madonna. And I thought, that sounds pretty cool, right? That sounds right. She did come from the Middle East, and we believe those stories. And the other thing about the brown Madonna, La Brun Madonna, is she has a nickname. And I love this nickname. When I heard this, I couldn't believe it. In Napoli, of all places. And her nickname is the Virgin of Tenderness. At the moment I began to swear, curse my very existence in a roundabout of Napoli, a lane opened. La Madonna Bruna touched me, laid a long dark finger on my shifting hand on the flat, thin, tendony area before the knuckles, just so, as if to say, the second exit is open now. Follow that scooter. Punch it, my son. She is my virgin of the second exit. La Bella Madonna of Napoli. La Madonna of the serene face. Black shawl, red trim, sweet baby Jesus kisses at her breast. And I am her daring circus rounder, triumphant in a gutty 5-speed Fiat, heroic under the flapping standards and balcony banners of clean whites, unable to sleep at 3 in the morning, unable to forget her. Virgin of tenderness, if I promise to never think of you again, your sleek, serene face, lips cupped just so, your cheeky humor, elegant fingers, big, dark eyes. Will you tell me once more, I am your sweet baby? Will you kiss me once more? Kiss me again and again. Hold me in your lovely brown arms against your delirious, incessant body and kiss me. Kiss me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Nathan, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a good one to end on. Kiss me!
Kiss me, right?
And also, buy books. Ricardo has some books up there.
It does.
Nathan doesn't have his books out yet, but when they do come out, they will be out there also. So Ricardo, he has a little pot out. They're each $10.
$10.
Yeah, and
So-
there are about 4 or 5 different ones?
6 actually.
6 different ones.
Yeah.
Oh. Does anyone have any questions about anything that they were talking about? Because I wanted them to really talk about a little bit about joy. If they had anything to say just about that feeling of joy. Because I certainly I don't live in that condition all the time, but it sure is wonderful when it happens. Do you have anything to say? Did you give any thought to joy? Those shots from...
Did I give any thought to joy? Well,
You were cursing a lot in the roundabout.
I was so full of joy when La Madonna pointed out that second exit.
That was after you cursed, right? You were cursing.
I was cursing in Spanish, by the way.
I actually wanted a demonstration of that. That's all right.
I think joy is possible when you're creative or writing at any point. Of course, we write from all the different emotions that we have, and it's not always joy, but I feel joy punctuates part of the experience for me, especially when I work something out. When you have those little eureka or aha moments, or you find something out that maybe you knew somewhere unconsciously but didn't know consciously, and there's all these moments while writing poetry where you go, ah, that's it, that's what I mean. And it's kind of like when you're in conversation with someone else and you're trying to explain something, and they're like, what, you know, and you just keep trying and trying, and then eventually you say the thing, they go, ah, I get it. And I feel like it's similar, just the conversation at that moment is just you with yourself on a page.
Oh,
sorry.
I wanted to add to that, yeah. Oh, that was beautiful. I think that joy is an awful lot like kindness. You know, small acts of joy seem to really mean a lot, like small acts of kindness. And you don't need a big joy, you need just something a couple times a day. And of course, it's always better to give than, it is nice to receive, I gotta admit, but it is, but it makes, giving makes the receiving so much better. Yeah.
I want to kind of piggyback off that quickly.
Sure.
I think joy can be spontaneous, but it can also be induced. It's similar to awe. If you are able to seek for it, that you are more likely to be able to get to it. But I also think it's something that we shouldn't pressure ourselves into thinking, I think of it like happiness. Oh, I must feel joy, or I must feel happy right now. Like every emotion has its place. So even when I was choosing poems to read, I'm like, well, not all of them are directly related to joy, even though I feel like there was something ecstatic in them, because in order to get to joy, you need to experience all the other emotions, and that includes difficult emotions, because I think to get there, you have to deal with the more difficult things. I don't know what to do with that. Okay.
Cynthia, you could probably induce joy with Ricardo if you just kiss him. Same with you, Rachel. Keep that in mind. I mean, you kiss Nathan.
Oh,
Well, you
okay.
can kiss Ricardo, I guess.
Or me.
There you
Okay.
go.
Does anybody want to, how did you feel about this today?
It was getting a little bit risque there.
And you like that, I think, Ivy. You like that.
How red is my face?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're blessed to have such talent in our city.
Yes.
I agree. Blessed to have so many poets who are also spreading the word and holding their own workshops and just nurturing all of us. I think it nurtures all of us. Was there something, did you?
I really want to acknowledge the poem about the guns. I thought that was really explicit and poignant, and there was something about the naming that really got me. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have something to say about the poem about the gun. Send it to Congress.
Yeah, no more
Yeah.
thoughts and prayers,
Right.
please.
Right.
Yeah, there's a real place for poetry to address things like that. Okay, so why don't we take a bit of a break? Did you want to add anything, anybody? Okay, let's take a bit of a break. We can get something back there. There's something to eat back there, I think, something to drink, and then we'll have open mic.
There's the sign-up sheet at the back for the open mic.
Oh, and if you haven't signed up, I'll just raise your hand. That works too.